Hey there guys, how's it going? So, a brand new deal's in the shop today, this Tier 6, Tier 7 deal, which, when I first heard about it, I was like, that could be kind of interesting. Depending on the pool of medals inside the game, if you got like, some of the high score challenge single target medals, some random target medals, that could potentially be a pretty good banner. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out quite that way, but I'm sort of hoping that as the game improves and, the sort of guaranteed Tier 5 medals and above, that at 7 stars, get phased out, Tier 6 and Tier 7 medals in each of the draws, just like the Japanese version, might get phased in. And eventually we might even get some like much better stuff inside the banners. So let's go ahead and break this one down. If you guys that aren't aware, it's 1500 jewels for for 5 medals, one of which is guaranteed to be any of the medals I'm going to show you on the next page. So let's go and have a look at those, shall we? So there are 43 different medals you could possibly pick up. So there's a bunch on this page and the rest on this page. The number that you see there, because if you want to go ahead and draw off this deal, feel free to do so. It's your jewels, do whatever you want. But I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend it. But what I'm trying to say is, if you wanted to pick a particular medal, like you said, oh, I really want HT Shion up the very top left there, or I really want, dual wielding Roxas. If you're picking any of these medals, the number to the right of them, or in this, underneath right here, is the odds of getting that. So let's say you want HT Shion on the very, very top list there. Your chance of getting that off this draw is 1 in 18, which is the best odds. It's still not great, but the best odds. Your chance of getting, the Mickey EX in there is 1 in 200. So it's not a very good banner for thinking, okay, I really want to get this one thing. It's sort of like very much a lottery in terms of, okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my 1500 jewels in. I'm probably going to get something that's not necessarily worth that back out, but I might get something really good out, potentially. It's very much like the most lottery of the deals you're going to get here. So what do we actually get, and is any of it worth gambling on? So, okay, so from the top list we have quite a lot of AoE medals, 1 copycat medal and 1 single target medal being illustrated Aqua B. Really curious they didn't go ahead and include Antiform Sora in that list, but I guess that some reasoning behind that makes sense. I'll explain that a little bit more in a bit. Of the second list there, we have the 5 different AoE medals that are effectively more or less the same. Sephiroth EX is notable there for only having 1 hit, which is good in high score challenges. Of the bottom list there, we have a stack more AoE medals, with 2 copycat medals being the brand new Namine one, with Kingdom Hearts 2 Namine copycat medal, and the Vanitas on the side there. And then finally at the very back we have, again, what looks like a ton of AoE, but the foretellers and all the 5 on the bottom, sorry, not Riku, have the ability to switch between AoE and single target. So a lot of AoE going on, which is very indicative of the game at the point they came out. Colosseum PvE was a huge deal, and a lot of medals were geared around that, like AoE medals with particular buffs that would, start edging more towards general defense down as they were later released. But they all had very similar multipliers. Like on the grand scheme of things, on the graphs that I've made, literally, if you pull out the entire section, a lot of these Tier 6, Tier 7 AoE medals just go dunk right in the middle there, and they're all very similar. So now that buffs can be immediately like in one medal with either Kairi or the stained glass medals or the foretellers maxed out at a pinch, the buffs and debuffs that they have effectively are meaningless, right? Because we're already at the maximum once you cast. So all you really need to think about now is the multiplier. So from that point of view, they're all very similar nowadays. So you have like Final Form Sora there, Armor of the Master, and Zack, for example. To me, I'm looking at it right now going, okay, well if I'm going to use those, I'm going to use them towards the back of the Keyblade, if at all. And I'm going to cast a buffer first, which negates the need for them to be used at all. You know what I mean? Like in terms of their buffs. I'm only thinking of them in terms of their multipliers. So they're all basically the same medal to me now. So it's a case of, okay, can I get those things and get good traits on them? Let's go ahead to the next page really quickly. Like I said before, you're not likely to get these 1 in 200 chance, but I would like to have some of the medals in here just to improve my single target game, especially from the upright power side. But the big problem with a lot of these EXs and a lot of the EXs on this page, if they continue to be very limited, as in the only chance of getting them is off these random YOLO banners, then you're not going to be able to get traits on them very easily. If they take all these medals and go forward with them, for example, and you start being able to get, every banner from now on has a guaranteed Tier 6 and Tier 7, and it's all of these ones and potentially a few more, or potentially like a few less of the ones up top and a few more of the actual good ones, like the high score challenge, single target medals like Herc B, Valorform Genie, that sort of thing, then, it might be a good thing to have these things now, because eventually you can get some traits on them and eventually they could be useful again. The way it stands right now, like as cool as it would be, like I would love to do a pull right now and get, dual wielding Roxas just because he looks sick, or the Terra, Ven, or Aqua on this page. I'd love to do that, but it's like, okay, if I did that, that'd be great, but a metal that I have, you know, extra attack on already or negative grounds on already would probably serve me a lot better and would take a place in my Keyblade over one of these things right here. They've really painted the game into such a corner where, like I said before, the buff cap can be raised and reached in one metal. One metal nowadays, so multipliers are all you care about. Like I said, I've been saying over and over again in PvP. PvP is like the current big battleground, right? And to compete there, you need single target and extra attack and ground and copycat medals, and that's all you need really. And AoE medals really have no place in that, and especially untraded AoE medals would be like, unfortunately, laughed out of the top ranks of PvP. Like I've heard people laughing at Tifa and Aerith before, Badger. So what can you do about that? Well, in my case, I saw the writing on the wall. I was like, okay, tier 5s have been guaranteed in medal drops. Well, eventually tier 6s and tier 7s will as well. So, and then beyond. Every single premium I ever got, basically, from that point onwards, I held on to. So, like Atlantica Sora I got the other day, Armor of the Master I've got in the past, Final Form Sora, any of these medals I've got and just held on to. Because it's like, well, eventually I might pull these things to 7-star. And once I do that, traits, immediate traits, immediate traits. So, the sort of thing where, like, let's say I pulled a medal like... I put a medal like this Yuna, Riku, and Pain here, for example, with absolute garbage traits. If I do go ahead and pull a 7-star version of that, which is already fully gilded, I can just go feed and feed. Bam, 2 traits right away. Maybe you get grounds, maybe you get strength, extra attack, whatever. That medal might become useful. As it stands right now, this medal is effectively useless to me because the traits mean nothing, unfortunately, and yeah, obviously I want to evolve my good medals eventually, but this is at the bottom of the friggin' list, right? A terrible traded AoE medal. This is a little bit higher up the list, obviously, an AoE medal with good traits, but I'm still thinking, you know, copycat medals, single target medals, high score challenge medals, I'd much rather evolve first. Not that I have many of them, but I'm thinking, wishful thinking here, if we ever do get like the high score challenge banner that was teased in JP the other day with, you saw nothing. If we ever do get that high score challenge banner that was teased in JP the other day with like HURKB, Valorform Genie, any of those like high score challenge medals that could really be really useful in this game, like the random target ones, like Scar, any of those ones, I'd much rather be evolving those things first before an AoE, again, because of how competitive PvP is. So yeah, just to wrap it up, guys, I don't think anyone should be pulling off this banner because the things you get aren't going to be too useful for you. It's only 1500 jewels for sure, that gets you a skill, that gets you sub slots, which I should point out are very important, and in my game I could definitely use some bolstering to my sub slots, but I do think that going forward, every single banner, hopefully, will have tier 6s and tier 7s guaranteed in each of those banners. If you're, you know, doing a 10 pull mercy, or hopefully, once the sort of, you know, tier 8, 7-star hype, if you will, dies down, those will drop back down to being a 5 pull mercy, because we can't keep up with this rate of banners unless they give us some, like, this rate of free jewels forever, or they either slow back down to a 5 pull mercy. If that happens, that'd be great. But yeah, if you do decide to pull off this banner, then that's entirely your own choice, that's cool. It'll get you a skill, it'll get you some sub slots, and it might get you a pretty cool medal, which, if you have, you know, 6-star versions of it already, and you can just throw them in and get some good traits on it, you know, you might get a pretty good medal out of it. As it stands right now, though, I don't think it's too good of a banner. Like, even if you got, like, a Naminé, for example, here, again, it's just an untraded medal, which, you know, the Naminé's whole deal was that it had boosted trait slots, right? That was part of the appeal of the thing. Have I said enough times that traits are important? Have I made that clear? Alright guys, I'm going to leave you with a free pull that I did today, and Zemnis just got awarded, so let's go roll some traits. See you guys soon. Bye. Let's go ahead and do our thank you draw for the day. I got Sora yesterday, so I'm not expecting too much today, but hey, I'll take anything 6-star. That'll be amazing. Nope. Yep, 5-star it is, of course. I already knew that before it was even going to come out. Bam. Trash. And I just got my copies of the Zemnis from the High Score Challenge, so, I mean, may as well roll that with you guys right now. So let's go ahead and chuck 1 copy of Zemnis in with, boy, 1 more. 3 traits on him. Okay, here we go. I got between top 2,000, I think it was like 3,000th or something, because it was like, I would have obviously liked to be top 1,000, of course, but I knew there was no real point in doing that. Yeah, this is going to be one of those. I could either spend a lot to try and get to that point, which I didn't really want to do, or I could be happy with the fact that I was top, you know, 2,000. Top 1,000 would have been, sorry, top 1 to 2,000 would have been cool, but all it really got to me was 1 more power gem and like a couple more dots on this Zemnis, which is only a couple Mickey and Brooms nowadays, which isn't really that much, so. Oh, okay, alrighty. Okay, alright, we got grounds on our Zemnis, very happy with that. Okay, 1 final roll. Should I go ahead and save this? You know, stuff it, whatever. Whoo! Ground on a Xemnas. That's pretty friggin' cool. Okay, so definitely can. So I was like, okay, I didn't really want to spend jewels to try and get to that rank. You know what I mean? There didn't seem to be much point, but yeah, okay. Okay. Still the guilty campaign, right? Pretty sure it is. I hope it is. Hope that never goes away. It should be constantly in the game at this point. Okay, that's really impressive off the bat. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time, and yeah, hopefully do some pool videos soon. All the best guys, thanks so much. Bye.